Uh, Tell me this: when there was more and more raves happening, and the underground culture was sort of coming into the mainstream.
Mm.
Were you met with a lot of resistance from, let's say, your bandmates and stuff, or like people who knew you from before?
I was, yes, and I still get it. Actually, it's like a lot of these people are still my friends, guys that I
Right.
was in bands with, and they're still, wagging their finger at me, saying that I was, part of this thing which was killing off live music and
Very
also
well.
putting musicians out of work and
Um,
all that kind of stuff. And uh, I was definitely getting a bit of resistance, but I was so swept away and carried along by what was going on in the party scene that look, you can please some people some of the time, but you can't please everybody. So I uh, I was so committed to this music that I just carried on with it. You can't let things like that uh,
yeah.
get in your way,
Yes.
and they won't if you love something in the way that we love this type of culture.
I think that conversation can be carried forward a little bit. So, with the advent of more and more streaming platforms, more and more dissemination platforms, like there's first you had to go to a record store, then later on you had things like SoulSeek and stuff, and now you have Beatport and Juno Download and Track Source and all of these different things. Whether it's pirated, whether it's original, irrespective, there's a lot of music that's
Mm.
coming out, right? And
Yes.
because of that, there's a lot of opportunity, sure. But for argument's sake, tell me this: is the quality suffering, in your opinion, or is it tougher for you to find new music, even though there's so much more?
Um, Good question. Um, I wouldn't say that the quality is suffering. The actual sonic quality of the music that I'm getting, I would say, has gone up
Improved. Yeah.
because there's a lot of competition, but
Yes.
also people by now have learnt a little more about how to get their productions to
Mm.
sound uh, alive and
Uh,
in your face and nice and bright, which is kind of what you want
yeah.
really. You want that. You want it to be dynamic. I always used
Yeah.
to say that the difference between a demo and a finished recording was like as if somebody had taken the curtain away. You know,
Yes.
it's
Yes.
like everything in the track was revealed, and I think people have learned how to do that better.
Yeah.
Whether the ideas are as good, I'm less sure about. I have to say that a lot of the music that I get now is kind of samey, best, especially in our particular field, progressive house, melodic house, and techno, progressive techno, right?
Mm.
I love the sound,
Mm.
and people have cracked how to make that sound, but a
Yeah.
lot of the ideas tend to be a little bit samey, and also I think that the signifiers for a track, the identifiers in a track, are sometimes not as obvious as they should be.
No.
Uh, I like to hear something which has some personality to it,
Right.
something which has which reaches out to you in a musical sense.
Yes.
And I'm not so sure that that's improved. If you
Yeah.
think of some of the older tracks, I don't know, something like Gat Decor, Passion.
Yeah.
Um, it's a classic. And one of the reasons that it's a classic is because of the way that the idea is constructed, the musical idea itself. It's it has a theme. It's recognizable. It's arranged well, and it makes sense. All I'm saying is that I think sometimes the ideas and the personality of a track could be better. So it's six of one and a half, a dozen of the other, Bilal. But
Yeah.
I love the fact that people are getting good at production now. Generally, I mean, it's
Oh,
still
definitely, 100%. The quality in terms of production quality, the subs that you hear weren't there before. I mean, if I try to mix a song in to, like, there's some new music I'm playing, I want to play a song which is 15 years old. It's a tough thing to mix it in and mix it out seamlessly, because
right.
there's a lot of the low end which is just not there in the older songs. And plus, the tempo was a lot higher. So when you
Yeah.
pitch it down, you're all of a sudden going into gray harmonic territories. So you want to go in and out of that, kind of seamlessly as well. But that being said, I think it was definitely easier for me to find tunes that resonate with me in my style for my set if I looked at them independently. Now,
Mm.
for example, the Beatport algorithm is great. The recommendations that it gives me on my homepage work really well. But
Yeah.
short of that, I have to really deep dive into like a rabbit hole to find stuff that will resonate with me. Because everything can be called progressive house, everything can be called indie house, or whatever you want to call it. It's really what you slap on while you're rendering something out,
Yeah.
and that's what it is.
Yeah.
So, because the volume of tunes has increased so much, there's so
Yeah.
many more record labels. I mean, I remember there was. Back in the day, there'd be like something that came out on vinyl and you
Mm.
couldn't find it anywhere else. And I'd go mental for like a month trying to just find that, where there was something by Infusion. Like I
Yeah.
remember they did this one Kate Bush remix of Running Up That Hill, which I
Yeah.
remember I couldn't find for the longest time. And then when
Yeah.
I finally found it, it was just amazing. I don't
Yeah.
see myself looking for songs that way anymore. I'll just move on to what I can find or cannot find and find some kind of replacement. Whether it matches up or not has kind of become, I don't know.
Uh, you got to play something, right?
Yes,
So
yes,
and we don't have time.
yeah,
People in our position, I mean, it is. I'm trying to, I've got a couple of shows coming up, and I'm looking for tunes to play now. So,
man.
so send me if you've got anything. But uh, the thing is, you have to listen to a lot of tracks to find the ones that you think are really popping their head up
Yeah,
above the rest of them. So if I need 100 tracks, I'll have to listen to 300, right? And
100%.
it that is time consuming. So you can't afford to spend too much time digging around. You have to get on with it. So I mean, surely you get promos. You must get quite a lot
Yeah,
of promos
yeah,
by now.
yeah,
And
yes.
how are you
They
finding the
help.
promos? Are they useful?
They're great. I mean, some record labels are very good because those are the picky kind of record labels. But then you have certain digital only labels which are putting songs out like twice a week, and they're
Yeah,
putting out compilations like, once a week. And
yeah,
those are the ones, the promo that come from there are just, mostly a hit and a miss. So I'll
yeah.
find two tunes which are great, and the other eight to follow will just kind of be like, I'll listen to this in the car, but I'm never going to play it out.
In the studio, you trust the process. You tweak, refine, and push boundaries, always with an ear for what's next. At Block Bytes Capital, we approach crypto investing the same way. No hype, no chaos, just clarity, consistency, and disciplined performance. Built by a team deep in the blockchain scene since 2016, we create smart, low to mid-risk portfolios that let your capital work while you focus on creating. From long-term strategies to monthly payout systems, every product is engineered with precision and backed by active risk management. Legally compliant, transparent, secure, and always aligned with your goals. Culture moves fast. So should your money. Block Bytes Capital. Invest like a builder. Grow like an innovator.
So
Right.
I mean, earlier on there'd be record labels which I would want to play each and everything that came out of there,
Yeah.
but now I don't think that's the case.
And
So,
sometimes with the compilations, my heart sinks a little bit if I'm going through promos and I'll have a compilation which has 15 tracks in it. I'm
yeah,
like, okay. It's with the promos, I'd rather hear like sort of 2 or 3 tracks
yes,
because fatigue can set
yes,
in. I think that was always true even in vinyl days.
yes, yes, 100%, 100%. Okay,
Remember
so
that John and Sasha, for example, John
yeah,
Digweed and Sasha, when they were coming up through the ranks, early 90s, mid
yeah,
90s, um, and they were playing vinyl, all vinyl.
yeah,
CDJs weren't a thing then.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
people used to go and hear them because they couldn't hear the music anywhere else. You know,
Yes. Yes.
because John and Sasha would get sent acetates, test
Yes.
pressing, and
Yes.
they would go to record shops where they were spending a couple of £100 a week, and they would keep stuff back to give to John and Sasha. Yeah.
So
See, I
that
remember the days, early days, when people would go to parties like 1990, around
yeah.
there,
Yeah.
and I can remember people talking to people in the crowd, and they said that they were shocked when they realised what the DJ was doing with playing records, because they were standing in the crowd listening to this music, all these bleeps and bloops and acid noises and synth
Yeah.
noises,
Yeah.
and they were thought he had some kind of bank of controls underneath the DJ booth that he was with which he was making all these
Yes.
noises. And when
Yes.
they found out that they were actually playing records, they were
Yeah.
kind of a bit disappointed in a way. It
Yeah.
was almost because the sound was alien, right?
Yes.
And the
No.
DJs used to trade on the fact that the sound was a little bit alien, that it
Yeah.
sounded like it came from outer space. That
Yeah.
was part of the attraction and part of the presentation. And
No.
it's a little bit of a Wizard of Oz type situation. The guy behind the curtains, pulling all the levers, and
Yeah.
it was just coming across a certain way. That's how
Yes.
it's evolved.
Yes. It really has. So, Nick, I believe the first time you came to Pakistan was somewhere, what, 2016, 17, 15, something like that?
The famous water
The
park.
Mango Music
Yes.
Times. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So you saw what it was like there. You saw, you've seen how the religious side of things can play a part over here. And one of the shows got cancelled, I believe. And then there was another one which stopped midway. And then
Yeah.
you just came and did a pretty successful show recently this year. So
Yes.
you've been seeing it evolve. Where do you think it's evolving properly? Do you think it could be a little better? What do you think we're missing out, in your opinion? Just as some objectively, as someone who just comes and sees it once every few years.
Well, it was such a shock to go to Pakistan at first and see the scene when I didn't really realize there was any scene at all. And one of these days, you must tell me the history of how this came to be a thing in Pakistan. I mean,
Yeah.
I can remember Michelle, who ran the agency, ringing me up, and she said, "Nick, we've got a bit of a weird one. There's a gig in Pakistan. Do you want to do this?" And I'm like, "Well, of course, let's go and see what it's like."
Yeah.
And I can remember going out there, and you were there, you were around,
Yes,
weren't you?
yes, yes,
And
yes.
we went to the water park, and there were 3,000 people inside the venue and about 10,000 outside the venue.
We had to walk. We were walking on the main road to get to the venue because the cars couldn't move. So
I
it was
know,
me, you, and Bitoko that were walking in, and people were asking us questions.
I
No.
know. But I'll tell you one thing that surprised me about it was the fact that I recognized the scene.
No.
It kind of had the same vibe as it does in our part of the world,
Yeah.
UK especially,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think at least a part of that, Bilal, is the fact that Pakistan and the UK have close ties.
Yes. Yes.
And I've grown up in my part of West London with a lot of people from your part of the world.
Yeah.
And so, I found sitting in the hotel talking to you guys a very familiar situation. And also
Yeah.
just the general atmosphere of what was happening
Yeah.
was strangely familiar,
Yeah.
and it's not like some kind of, it wasn't a scene which was particularly alien to me, which I wasn't expecting,
Right.
I thought it would be so completely different, but it
Yeah.
wasn't completely different. There was a lot of similarities, and everybody was surprisingly together. It's almost as if Pakistan evolved into being able to present a night of this type of entertainment in a very short period of time.
Yes.
I don't know if that is the case.